And speak up. On the show, we speak up. We are manly men.
Let me tell you the countries that we deal with. The United States, Spain, England, Norway, France, Italy, Finland, Iran, bro, Denmark. And we are a member of the Commonwealth of Nations. And when I sit back and look at all this, I say to myself, we must have real bad managers in our financial structure. Because these men are only focused on making money from Bahamians. They're not serious about making money from all the great countries around the world. I would have never sold the salt in Inagua. I would have never sold it.
They sold it?
They sold it. It's been sold. We had that salt.
But they're in the process of selling Betel, or they canceling that?
The present government right now is in the process of selling Betelco, and only God knows what else he gonna sell. He already sold historic monuments, historic sites.
Now hold on, hold on now. If I remember clearly, Betelco was in the process of being sold from the last government was in power. That was the PLP government. When I think allegedly Bradley Roberts and the rest of those were trying to sell it to themselves. This was alleged. Now look at the original first Bahamas deal. They were selling the Hobby Horse racetrack, which was given to the government. That's a historical monument.
It is.
They were selling the Prime Minister office, the past government. Right. So back it up, buddy. And if you go whip Hubert Ingham government, you need to whip Perry Christie government as well. Or you can't say the present government. You have to say the governments.
Well, remember now, you're only hearing the opinion from an artist, and not just any artist.
Your voice.
Right. But
you can vote.
But an artist in our country who has proven that he can also sell records and reach people and find the love inside their heart.
Yeah, what you do? Let the Bahamian people know what you do.
Well, I'm the artist on the corner. Carmichael Road, Fade Avenue. I stand up on the street corners and I sell CDs. And I sell my records. I sold near 5,000 copies.
That's impossible. Ain't no musician or artist I know. Sosa Man never sell 5,000 copies. Even locally, Bahamas never sell 5,000 copies locally.
It was easy to do, Utah. All I simply did was look at the fabric of our society. I look at what our people is driven by, and how I could use those ingredients to get my work out.
How did you sell 5,000 copies?
I sold them for $1 pop.
$1 a pop?
$1 pop. And
wow.
Folks say, $1 CD? So I say, well, if you want to give me more, I'll take it. And they say, okay. So they give me $1, I give them a CD.
So most people don't have a problem. Wow, that's smart. I mean, because if you pull up on me, I could be like, anyway, excuse me, but I could be like, I ain't gonna listen to this garbage anyway, but I could give him $1. For those who are just tuning in, recently we've developed a nasty trend of blaming the government for every single thing that happens in our community. Is the government fully to blame? When will we as the people own up and take responsibility for our own mess? Tonight, like Akon, you can put the blame on me. If you want to blame somebody for something, if you're upset, if you're disgruntled, if you're appalled, if you're just feeling blue, dial my number and blame me. Let's talk. Talk with me, Utah Taylor, Mr. Controversy, live on the show with the artist on the corner. Artist on the corner now.
I have to just be straightforward with my people. I would love to be Prime Minister for a week.
If you were Prime Minister for a week, what contributions would we get?
Well, I'll tell you the first thing I would do. The very, very first thing I would do is begin to build new prisons. Since the Bahamians, see, and you Bahamians, so they're listening, and trust me, I love you, but sometimes you have to deal with tough love. since you have decided that you are going to be lawless, then I'm going to bring it to you. I will build prisons to facilitate you for the rest of your life or until you want to make a change.
And
Society,
they will live off the taxpayers' money.
that's no problem.
That is a problem. That is a problem, Mr. Artist
No,
from the
it's
corner.
not. I had time. I had time to consider these things. Everything that I do in my life, I consult God about it at all times. Let me give this to you. Utah, I would rather facilitate a raper, a murderer, a drug dealer, a armed robber. I would rather facilitate them until they die than to have them in the streets of Nassau committing crime.
Well, Mr. Artist from the corner, my mom always told me, prevention is better than the cure. Why can't we prevent these things? Then we could save the taxpayers' money and we ain't need no more prison.
It don't work that way.
How you mean it don't work that way?
It don't work that
You
way.
living in a house. You living in a house and you know your nephew have two gun underneath his pillow. You see him out there on the blocks selling dope. You see him come home, he bring a flat screen TV, he bring this, he bring that, and he ain't working. But you benefiting from it. You could now watch the news and you could watch yourself now on Controversy Live on a flat screen TV, your nephew damn thief.
That's
Why
what,
you ain't turning them in?
that's what happened
And
to
first he start off as a petty thief. Then next thing you know, you can go rob him. And
Then
he
he
rob this
murder her.
pretty, he can rob this woman and then he can rape her. And then he can murder.
Of course.
But if you to turn him in, send him to be corrected. Send him to a correctional institution.
That's the reason why I'm telling you, Utah, if we don't have...
Why don't you create programs of reformation
Utah.
rather than creating prisons, Mr. Artist from the corner?
Utah, men,
They got woman this, woman
Men
that, crisis
only-
center. What programs do we have for reformation or what programs of refuge we have for men?
Utah, men, women, and when I say men, I'm talking in general, worldwide, nationwide. Men can only relate to one thing and one thing only. P-A-I-N. Pain.
I thought you were going to spell the P-U word. I was going to tell boys and just kick you off the show.
Pain. Men will only break or change when they experience pain. Almighty God allow us to fail, succeed, and sometimes from trial and errors. It's impossible to have a world without law. Our country is rocked with a very deadly.
But, Mr. Artist from the corner, if you continue to build more state-of-the-art facilities to house these nasty criminals, they will continue to do crime.
Well, I have a reason for that. Let me tell you the reason for that.
3 meals a day.
It's no problem.
I can watch TV.
Utah.
I can listen to the radio. I have a cell phone. I can get my weed on time in jail. Why not? Jail is easier than the road. Why not go to jail?
See, there was something that the Bahamians are not understanding. When folk commit crime and the courts sentence them to do time in prison, you can't just take a man and put him in prison and take away his dignity from him. Because here's what's going to happen then. You're going to have a worse problem. You see, the whole idea...
First, you got to break this man. And then secondly, you got to have some program of reformation, fam.
But not only so, you have to also have him in a clean, healthy environment so that he wouldn't turn into an animal.
Yeah, but I saying if life is a bed of rose in jail, he can go back out on the road and he just get on the road for a little time. The road is a vacation for him. And he back to jail. He know he ain't gonna die, he ain't gonna never get hanged.
We faced with return offenders, or we have another word for it.
Repeat offenders.
Repeat offenders. Here's why we faced with them. And it's escalating. And the reason why is because we lock these men up and we put these men in savagery. And we put them in an unclean, unstable environment. And not only so. And
You ever been to jail?
Yes.
And you ever been up to Fox Hill?
I had a visit one time ago. That was a long, long time.